The movie opens in Manchester, England, where a jihadi terrorist is seen discussing a planned bomb attack in the United States and England on television, with 3 other terrorists attentively watching. Local law enforcement receives information about the terrorist hideout and promptly encircles the apartment. Upon learning of the police's arrival, the terrorists detonate a bomb within their apartment, resulting in their own deaths, along with those of the police officers. The narrative then shifts to Iraq, introducing the protagonist, Roger Ferris, who is a CIA operative. Ferris is tasked with apprehending al-Salim. His orders come directly from Ed Hoffman, the head of the CIA's Near East Division, a role brought to life by the renowned actor Russell Crowe. The narrative continues with Ferris encountering Basham, his collaborator in the operations in Iraq. Basham informs Ferris of a terrorist named Nizar, who wishes to meet him. Nizar is terrified as he is expected to participate in a martyrdom operation, which involves a suicide bombing, a fate he is unwilling to accept. Both Ferris and Basham express a desire to meet Nizar, all while the CIA covertly monitors the entire operation via drones. Ferris, aware of the CIA's surveillance, instructs them to withdraw their drones to prevent any complications, assuring them that he will manage the situation independently. Upon meeting Nizar, Ferris learns that Nizar possesses incriminating evidence against al-Salim, making Nizar's survival precarious. Nizar expresses a desire to relocate to the USA and pursue a PhD. Nizar consents to provide all the evidence to Ferris, but in exchange, he requests political asylum in the USA. Asylum is typically sought by individuals who feel their safety is compromised in their home country. Ferris discusses this with his superior, Hoffman, who categorically denies the asylum request and instructs Ferris to extract information from Nizar. The story progresses with Nizar heading to a market under the watchful eyes of Ferris and Basham. Abruptly, a black van pulls up and armed terrorists emerge, attempting to abduct Nizar. Recognizing that Nizar has seen both him and Basham, and fearing their cover could be blown if Nizar were to reveal their identities, Ferris makes the decision to shoot Nizar. Subsequently, Ferris and Basham travel to Balad, a city in Iraq, acting on information provided by Nizar that al-Salim maintains a safe house there. Upon arrival, they witness terrorists setting fire to the stairs. In an attempt to preserve the records as evidence, Ferris opens fire, leading to a chaotic exchange of gunfire. Concurrently, Basham relays this information to CIA headquarters, prompting the dispatch of several helicopters for their assistance. Amidst this, Ferris and Basham attempt to escape, pursued by numerous terrorists. The indiscriminate gunfire persists, and during the chaos, their vehicle is struck by an RPG fired by a terrorist, resulting in Basham's death and severe injuries to Ferris. Upon regaining consciousness, Ferris finds himself in a hospital at a U.S. military base. He receives a call from Hoffman, who offers him the option to take a few days off if he wishes. Despite his injuries, Ferris is determined to carry on with his mission. Consequently, Hoffman directs him to Amman, where he is likely to find leads on al-Salim. Upon arrival in Amman, Ferris is assigned an assistant named Skip. Ferris visits the U.S. Embassy and interacts with an officer there, but their relationship is strained. As a result, Ferris assumes full control of the operation. In Amman, Ferris encounters Hani Salim, an officer from the Jordanian intelligence agency. Ferris requests Hani's assistance in capturing al-Salim, a proposition Hani initially rejects. However, after Ferris presents him with photographs and evidence of a safe house in Amman, Hani consents to help. Before parting, Hani warns Ferris against deceiving him. The following day, Ferris and Skip stake out the safe house. At the safe house, Skip spots a man named Ziad Abashi. Skip reveals that Hoffman had dispatched him to surveil the safe house, a fact that angers Ferris as he was unaware of this. Ferris is displeased with Hoffman's tendency to meddle in his operations, as it could potentially compromise his undercover status. Upon learning about the CIA's involvement, Ferris promptly vacates the safe house. His fears materialize when Ziad inadvertently exposes his identity to a terrorist within the safe house, who then flees to inform his associates. However, Ferris pursues and apprehends the terrorist, ultimately killing him. He stages the murder to appear as a robbery, thereby avoiding suspicion. During this incident, Ferris is bitten by dogs and seeks treatment at a local hospital. There, he encounters Aisha, who administers a dose of Raviz's vaccine. She assures him that he can receive subsequent doses at any hospital. Later, we see Ferris at the U.S. Embassy, engaged in a heated argument with Hoffman. He firmly instructs Hoffman not to interfere with his mission. Hani summons Ferris to his office, where the scream of a man echoes through the room. The source of the scream is revealed to be Ziad Abishi, who had jeopardized Hani and Ferris's mission under Hoffman's orders. Hani informs Ferris that Ziad is being disciplined for meddling with the operations of Jordanian intelligence. The scene then shifts to Amsterdam, Netherlands, where a man retrieves a piece of paper from a trash bin. The paper bears the name of of a location. Shortly thereafter, a bomb detonates at the specified location. Ferris, Honey, and Al-Salim watch the ensuing chaos unfold on television, witnessing the tragic loss of numerous innocent lives in the blast. In the following scene, Honey and Ferris arrange a meeting with a man named Mustafa Karim. His address was found attached to the photographs that Ferris had previously presented to Honey as evidence. Mustafa Karim is an operative within Al-Salim's terrorist organization. Honey spares Karim's life, but in exchange, he requests that Karim remain in Al-Salim's group and work as his informant. This would allow Honey to gain insights into Al-Karim's plans and whereabouts. Subsequently, we see Hoffman arriving in Amman with the intention of apprehending Al-Salim, particularly after the devastating bomb blast in Amsterdam. The pressure to capture Al-Salim intensifies, given the significant loss of innocent lives in the recent explosion and the potential for more such incidents in the future. Hoffman, after meeting with Ferris, proceeds to Honey's office for a discussion. He proposes to Honey that they should abduct Mustafa Karim to extract information about Al-Karim. Honey, however, rejects this idea, stating that it is not his modus operandi. He further explains that Mustafa Karim is unaware of any details about Al-Karim, but he could prove to be a valuable asset in the future. Honey has kept Karim under his control, akin to a pawn, and warns Hoffman that his methods are unsuitable for their line of work. Despite this, Hoffman has other plans in mind. Ignoring the objections of Ferris and Honey, he dispatches Skip to kidnap Karim in hopes of gaining some insight into Al-Karim. As it turns out, Hoffman's plan backfires. Skip fails to apprehend Karim, who manages to escape. In the subsequent scene, Ferris returns to the same hospital where he previously received an injection from a nurse named Aisha. After receiving another injection, he extends an invitation to Aisha for a date, to which she agrees. They are seen enjoying lunch together. As Ferris is escorting Aisha back to the hospital in the evening, they are intercepted by one of Honey's associates. This man instructs Ferris to accompany him to the safe house, rumored to be a hideout for Al-Karim's terrorist group. The sight that greets Ferris at the location is alarming. The entire building is ablaze, devoid of any occupants, and all evidence has been incinerated. Overwhelmed by the situation, Ferris is seen clutching his head in distress. Subsequently, Honey's associate escorts Ferris to Honey, who is visibly furious. He interrogates Ferris about his knowledge of this covert operation. Ferris denies having any information, attributing the entire incident to Hoffman. However, Honey remains skeptical and gives Ferris an ultimatum. He has 12 hours to leave the country. I want to make it clear that I won't be held responsible for whatever happens to you afterward. In the next scene, we witness Ferris meeting Hoffman in Washington, and he is extremely angry with him. The reason for Ferris's anger is that Hoffman's actions led to the complete failure of their mission. Now, Honey is preventing Ferris from entering Jordan as a result. In response, Hoffman claims to have a plan to send Ferris back to Jordan. Ferris suggests to Hoffman an idea to capture Al-Karim. He proposes planning a fake bomb explosion, hoping that Al-Karim will attempt to discover the culprits. By doing so, they can uncover his location and gather information about him. To accomplish this, Ferris seeks the help of a hacker. Together, they search for a suitable witness whose name can be utilized for the staged bomb blast. These individuals decide to use a person named Omar Siddiqui as a scapegoat to carry out this operation. In the following scene, we see Ferris in Dubai, where he travels to meet Omar Siddiqui. On the same evening, Ferris visits Omar's hotel room. He plants a device in Omar's laptop to hack it, thereby granting Karland access. Karland then proceeds to hack Omar Siddiqui's laptop, fabricating emails and creating counterfeit bank accounts. He transfers money into these accounts to make it appear as though Omar Siddiqui is responsible for the bomb blast. In the following scene, Hoffman informs Ferris that Honey wishes to recall him to Amman to collaborate on Al-Karim's case. Upon Ferris's arrival in Amman, Honey invites him to his office for a discussion. Honey apologizes for his past conduct and emphasizes the importance of avoiding errors this time around. Ferris then retrieves his old AR skip. He warns Honey that if the previous incident were to recur, the consequences would be severe. In the subsequent scene, Ferris returns to the hospital where he previously received injections to meet Aisha. Aisha informs him that her family wishes to meet him, to which Ferris consents. That same evening, Ferris visits Aisha and meets her sister and two nephews. They share a meal together, but Aisha's sister harbors a dislike for Ferris due to his American nationality. The American-Iraq War has caused significant distress for Jordan and its citizens. Meanwhile, the CIA continues its investigation into the fabricated bombing case. With Karland's assistance, Ferris receives counterfeit emails from Omar Siddiqui's account, making it appear as though Siddiqui is implicated in the bomb blast. To further this deception, fake corpses are staged at a U.S. military base in Turkey, simulating the aftermath of a bomb explosion. News of the bomb blast is disseminated widely through the media, ensuring that everyone is aware of its authenticity and the significant damage inflicted on the U.S. military base. Al-Karim, upon seeing the news on television, becomes anxious and instructs his followers to identify the perpetrator. Simultaneously, Omar Siddiqui is alarmed by the fabricated emails linking him to the bomb blast and hastily flees his office. Ferris, in conversation with Hoffman, expresses his concern that Al-Karim's followers will target Siddiqui. He proposes sending Siddiqui to the US for safety, but Hoffman categorically rejects this idea. Ignoring Hoffman's refusal, Ferris takes it upon himself to protect Siddiqui. When Ferris approaches him, Siddiqui recognizes him from their previous encounter in Dubai. However, due to his heightened fear, Siddiqui disregards Ferris's words and attempts to escape. Amidst this chaos, Al-Karim's followers manage to abduct Siddiqui and subject him to interrogation. During the questioning, it is revealed that Omar Siddiqui is not responsible for the bomb blast. Despite this, he is killed, and his body is discovered in a trash bin the following day. Subsequently, Ferris has a conversation with Hoffman, expressing his inability to continue with the operation. He is deeply troubled by the innocent lives lost due to his actions and fears more casualties in the future. He informs Hoffman of his decision to abandon the operation midway and return home. Upon reaching his apartment, Ferris finds an envelope containing photographs of himself and Aisha. This leads him to believe that Aisha has been abducted. He rushes to Aisha's apartment in search of her, but finds it empty. Distressed, Ferris seeks Honey's assistance and discloses the truth about Omar Siddiqui. Upon discovering that Ferris has deceived her once more, Honey unequivocally declines to assist him. Meanwhile, Hoffman arrives in Jordan, where Ferris informs him about Aisha's abduction. Ferris dials Aisha's number, and an unknown individual answers, instructing Ferris to meet at a specified location. Ferris consents to exchange his life for Aisha's safety. A man escorts Ferris to a remote area. Concurrently, Hoffman is monitoring Ferris via drones. Suddenly, numerous cars appear and begin to encircle Ferris, kicking up a dust cloud that obscures Hoffman's drone vision. Several individuals exit the cars and usher Ferris into one of them. The cars then scatter in various directions, leaving Hoffman perplexed as he struggles to determine which direction Ferris has been taken. Next, we observe Ferris being taken to a terrorist camp. Here, he is bound to a chair, and everything is captured on camera. Al-Karim then enters the scene. Ferris questions Al-Karim about Aisha, but Al-Karim appears to be ignorant of her. This leads to a somewhat nonsensical exchange between the two. Ferris then warns Al-Karim that a CIA agent is among them, leading to Al-Karim's men beginning to torture Ferris, even going as far as to sever his fingers. Al-Karim subsequently orders Ferris's execution. However, before Al-Karim's men can carry out the order, the Jordanian police arrive and rescue Ferris. As Al-Karim attempts to flee the scene, he is apprehended by an officer named Honey. Later, we see Ferris, our protagonist, recovering in a hospital. Honey visits him and reveals that he was the one who abducted Aisha. He explains that he learned about Al-Karim through Mustafa Karimi and used Ferris as a means to apprehend Al-Karim. Next, we see Hoffman approach Ferris with the proposition of a desk job. However, Ferris declines the offer, expressing his desire to remain in his current location for a few more days. Despite Hoffman's warning about the dangers of staying, Ferris decides to leave. As the movie concludes, we find Ferris at a market purchasing sweets for Aisha. He notices some individuals who he identifies as CIA agents and realizes he is under surveillance. He glances up at the hovering drones. Over the microphone, an officer inquires if Hoffman wants to continue monitoring Ferris. Hoffman responds in the negative, stating, "Leave him alone. He is now responsible for himself." The movie ends on this note. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.